Montague County played an important role on the Chisholm Trail, and the Stonewall Saloon was one of the last stops before crossing the Red River. Zach Holder takes us to the Wild Wild West in this week's Holder's Hideaways.
Today, if you drive around the town square in St. Joe, you'll be greeted by cars and small shops. But back in the days when St. Joe still had an E at the end and North Texas was known more as the Wild West, you'd get a different greeting.
The cowboys, of course, had to have a chance to go to town to pick up some supplies and so forth, maybe to let off a little steam.
The Stonewall Saloon was the first permanent structure in St. Joe. Dick Kane, Secretary-Treasurer of the Stonewall Saloon Museum Board of Directors, explains the saloon's earliest days along the Chisholm Trail.
The saloon began, really, like I said, to serve the cowboys on the Chisholm Trail. They had to hold their cattle up sometimes, so whether it was flood or too many cows or whatever, to go across the Red River. So they were held in this area because it was good grass and good water.
The saloon was constructed in 1849 and soon St. Joe filled in around it. By the 1920s, the saloon hit a roadblock it couldn't get around: Prohibition. Over the next few decades, the saloon became a bank, a doctor's office, even an office for an oil company. But as the times continued to change, the building that once housed the popular saloon experienced even more ups and downs.
The building fell into kind of disarray, and in the mid-50s, H.D. Fields put the building back together and made it a museum. So it ran that way for a few years, and then again it fell back into disrepair.
Today, the building is in better shape than ever as locals in the community decided to restore the saloon to what it once was.
We had to redo the walls, we had to redo the roof, of course, we had to redo the floor, so it was a pretty good project to put it back together.
Starting in 2011, the renovations will wrap up by the end of the year, says Kane. The museum sports many pictures and artifacts that showcase life back in the saloon's prime.
If you'll notice, there's a couple spotches on the mirror. Those are actual bullet holes. Now you realize they didn't have quite the same amount of powder back then, and that mirror is very, very thick.
While the saloon doesn't have a liquor license due to being a museum, Kane says they like to keep the tradition alive by hosting poker nights where they allow visitors to bring their own alcohol. The museum hosts around 2,500 to 2,800 visitors a year. Kane says that shows people still have an interest in the more rural areas of America.
People want to connect with history. You're living in the city and you don't get a lot of that nowadays. And so they want to come back and take a look at it. And they're very appreciative of our ability to show what went on through photographs, through artifacts.
Zach Holder, News Channel 6.
Cool stuff. Thanks, Zach. The Stonewall Saloon is open Friday through Sunday, but you can call 940-995-7193 to set up a tour at any point during the week.